This is one of my favorite videos to film each month. It's where I flip through my planner to see how I used it functionally, what worked and what didn't, and what I might need to change going forward. Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm on a mission to uncomplicate my life through functional planning and imperfect home management. If you want to join me, please make sure you're subscribed and I'll meet you over at my planning space. Opening up the planner to April, and we have my April review here. This is something that I do on the last page of every month so that I can kind of see how I did on my goals, how the month went, and that's kind of like the same concept. I'm just auditing the month to see what happened. I usually pick some goals to focus on for the month, and then we move on into the planning. So this is the monthly spread. What I've been doing since the beginning of the year in this planner, I've been really enjoying sticking with the Erin Condren Monthly color scheme here. I've been using the Erin Condren Monthly Designer sticker books. I've been using both edition 7 from last year and edition 8 from this year, and just some other stickers from my stash, usually from Planner Kate or Orange Umbrella Co. And also some that I've made for myself, like the Formula One stickers here, and also some of these larger scripts were stickers that I made, and those were a little too big, but I didn't want to waste them. And going forward, if I make my own scripts, I know I need to go ahead and make them a little bit smaller. But this is what has really been working for me. I think at the beginning of the year, once I realized that I love to see this like white space in the background, that was super helpful for me because I use a monthly planner. So if you're new here, let me explain real quick. This is an Erin Condren Monthly Planner. It is not a weekly life planner, which is like their flagship planner that's the most popular. This planner has a monthly spread and some dashboard pages for just some more function and to-do lists and stuff. We'll get to the weekly plans in a second, but just to explain real quick, I typically make my own weekly spread on there. So what I have found out that I really enjoy doing is just having a blank white background. I like having all of this blank space to write stuff in, and I don't mind if I have a day that doesn't have anything in it. There's still stuff happening those days, but those are just going to be recurring tasks that I don't need to write over and over again in the monthly spread. This is just to help me organize my schedule mostly, and if it's something that doesn't typically happen on a weekly basis, like a lash appointment or getting my son's haircut, that kind of thing, I do put it in here, even though like going for a haircut or cleaning out the car is a task. It's just something that I do infrequently enough that I do need to be reminded to do it. So this is how I've been using this monthly spread since the beginning of the year, and it's really been working for me. I just like to use the nice pattern that Erin Condren put on the paper. I really love Erin Condren paper. It's one of my favorite things about the brand, and it's just, I want to write on the paper and not on stickers. The reason I use stickers is if I need to change something, if it's an appointment that might need to get rescheduled or maybe canceled, that's the kind of thing that I will use stickers for. The other thing I like to use stickers for example, this dentist sticker here from Planner Kate. This is just a way to consolidate and use the space I have wisely, because I do only have this little box to write in, and I tend to write larger. I don't want to just write, this, we have an orthodontist appointment, here it is, here's what time it's at. That's a lot of information to squeeze into one little box. So if I just put this little label here that has a icon for a tooth, that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. And then my real appointments are always in my Google Calendar, just because that's how I plan. I'm a hybrid planner. I need to write stuff down on paper to remember it, but if it's not in my Google Calendar, it's never gonna get written down. So these are tools that I use to help me like stay organized, and it's just been working out really well for me. The sidebar here, I have been kind of playing around with different ways to use this. You can see that I didn't write anything in there. I did have some tasks for my monthly reset that I do like to put here, but I want to try out using the sidebar as my monthly to-do list going forward. In the past, I have used the dashboard page here as a to-do list. So I am going to try to use the sidebar here going forward. For example, in May, I already started doing that. So one of the ways that I try to keep track of my goals is to put them here on this page. So I tend to do this section because I have 5 goal categories that I keep track of for my own personal goals. I pick 4 for this spot, and then I pick the one that's like the focus category for the month, and I put it in this spot down here. This is where I will make any notes about my son's school, and this is where I had decided to go ahead and move my to-do list, and then I left this space open in case I needed it for notes. As you can see, I didn't write anything there. So I am gonna try to figure out something else I can use this space for, but keeping in mind, I don't have to use every spot in my planner because I do want to have a space if I do need to jot something down, because that's kind of the point of it, you know, and if I don't have some specific thing to fill up the space with, that's okay too. But I just thought I do have a good amount of space. Maybe I can kind of brainstorm some other things to put there. This is a sticky note from, I believe it's Peanuts Planner Co. It's a printable freebie that you can get by joining their Facebook group. And I just printed it on white Post-it notes, and it's just my to-buy list. And I like that it's on a sticky note because I can move it from month to month. There's things that have been on here since the beginning of the year that I haven't purchased, and I just keep adding stuff to the bottom. We're almost to the end here, and once I get to the end, I can transfer it to a new list and just, you know, omit the stuff I decided I don't need anymore, and obviously the stuff I've already purchased, and then just start a new list and put it on the next month. So that is, I'm actually gonna move this now to May and put it over here. Okay, so this bottom spot here is where I had kind of set up a movement goal. I wasn't officially gonna start working on like the movement, the exercise, the fitness until May, but in April I kind of wanted to ease into it a little bit. And so I had started doing a little bit of yoga. I do walk every school day when my son is at his tennis practice. So I thought I would start a little movement tracker here. I used an Erin Condren stencil to draw out this little month checkbox situation, and I didn't ever go and track anything in it. That is a recurring theme for me. I always want to use trackers, but I never actually do. It's fun to put them in there, and so there's like novelty there that makes me want to use them, but when it comes down to the day-to-day, I just don't cross anything off of them. I never go back and actually use the tracker. I don't know what that says about me, but you know, that's what we're exploring here. So this was the tracker for yoga, walking, and other, and then I had just written that my goal was 5 times a week. I know I walked more than is shown here, but I didn't track it. So I did try this again for May. I did kind of recreate this in May, and we'll see. I'm gonna try it again. This was a spot that I wanted to write down how many minutes I spent doing yoga. This was inspired by Lauren from Creating Self-Care Plans. I'll link her channel below. This was my nutrition goal, was my important goal for the month of April. And so here I had a tracker for no sugar for each of the weeks in April. And I did really well the first 2 weeks. The third week, I think we had gone on a trip, and so I knew I wasn't gonna have no sugar. We were traveling and doing fun things, and so I knew sugar was gonna be involved. And then after that, I just stopped tracking it completely. So that is something that I need to keep in mind whenever I'm setting goals for myself, is perhaps thinking about what is preventing me. Am I not tracking it, or am I just not doing it? For me, I will be honest and say that I wasn't doing it. We had this trip, and I did get back on it. Like right when we got home, I was motivated to kind of get rid of all that sugar in my system. But it didn't last. And then for all of week 17, I pretty much had sugar on a regular basis. So I need to kind of think on that some more, maybe journal on it and figure out what's going on there. But this is just where I keep track of my goals and any tasks that I know I need to do this month. Let's get into the weekly spreads. The way I use this planner, the planner comes with the monthly spread, those dashboard pages, and then 10 lined notes pages every month. I use some of those lined notes pages to make my weekly spreads, and I like to do it on one page. This has been working for me the entire year. I've been doing this since the very first week in January, and I have no plans to change as far as the function. I really like it. I haven't needed 2 pages yet. So I think this works for me. This first week here was kind of a dud for me. I really didn't like what I did here decoratively. I love this washi tape. It's one of my favorites, but I kind of did like a wonky box situation for each day of the week, and I don't like that. Every time I've tried to do something like whimsical and asymmetrical, it just turns me off completely. And so I know now to try not to do this. Yes, it's fun in the moment, but I think for my weekly plans and my to-do list, for it to be functional, it really needs to be kind of like, you know, straightforward like this and not so like fun and whimsical. I do like the idea of the whimsy, but I think I'm gonna save that for when I do my memory planning. So this week was kind of a disaster for me, and so I went plain and clean for this week. This was pen only, not even a highlighter, and I really liked it. This was like a nice reset for my brain, and it was just really good. I was really happy with this, and it made me want to just keep doing it. And this format here kind of solidified for me that this is the layout that works for me. If Erin Condren could make us a weekly planner with this layout, I would be all over it. It could even be a 2-page spread if they wanted. They could put this over here and then have this page just be a blank notes page or something. I would be all over that, like so hard. That would be my jam. But for now, I have to draw it myself. So here I tried a tracker again. It was fine. It still didn't do anything for me. I really liked this, and you'll see that going forward, this is pretty much the layout I do constantly now. So sorry if that's boring, but hey, it works for me. Week 16 and week 17, that same layout, right? This was the week that I traveled to Austin to the Erin Condren store and an event for affiliates. I did the same tracker. I just kind of wrote out some stuff here. This was not in the plan with me video. This was just some notes I added after the fact. And just my task list. I had all my like obligations during the week that I wanted to remember, and it worked out. For this week, I used the Erin Condren, both the functional sticker book and the Flora. Was it Flora or In Bloom? It might have been In Bloom. Yeah, I think it was In Bloom. So I used those 2 sticker books and some of the new In Bloom highlighters. No, they're In Bloom, yes. So I have 3 sets of highlighters here from Erin Condren, and it was these. So this is the In Bloom set, and that is the set of highlighters I used there, and then I used the matching stickers to just kind of coordinate together a cute look that was still very calm and open, tons of white space. And this is what I am needing to remember here, is this is what works for me. This, I can still get in this fun bit of color and fun stickers and still just use the planner. This I added later. This was also not in the plan with me. It was just some notes on some things that I had ordered, and I just kind of separated it with a piece of the brand new Erin Condren Wildflowers washi. These stickers are some older retired stickers from Planner Kate. So now we're at the end of the weeks in April, but I still have a few pages left. So on this spread, this was blank for a long time, and then this is just a filming checklist that I made for myself and printed it on sticker paper and threw it in to try to help me keep track of my content and such. And then here was just a list of things that I tend to need to prep for my food prep. This goes towards my nutrition goals. I do have some health concerns where having a slightly special diet helps me out, and it really is beneficial to me to prep those foods ahead of time so that I have things to eat during the week. And so this is just a list of some of the things that are recurring on that list. I tend to prep all of these each week, and I do that on Sundays. And so I had just kind of written that out as like a refresher, or just kind of like a cheat sheet that I could refer back to. So that is there. And then here is just 2 pages I never used. So what might happen here is I might go back in the future and just kind of flip through and look for a blank page to just jot something down. I probably won't deliberately come and use this spread for anything. It'll really just be for note space. And so that's kind of cool that I still have that blank space that I might need if, you know, it comes up. And then this last page here is where I did my April review and then my May goals going forward. So that is how I used my Erin Condren Monthly Planner functionally in the month of April. Any of the products you see here, if you're interested, I will link them in the description. If I forget to link anything, please don't hesitate to ask. As a reminder, I am an Erin Condren affiliate and a Planner Kate affiliate. So if you click on those links and make a purchase, it does help me and the channel out. So thank you for helping me to support my family. So doing an audit like this has really helped me to save money and time, because now I know like what I need. Like, I don't need to buy a ton of sticker kits. I just need to buy the parts of those kits that work for my style and to help me not feel as overwhelmed with all the clutter and chaos that can really easily happen when we're using up stickers. Sometimes you feel guilty not using the stickers that you paid for, and of course they're beautiful and you want to use them, but that can lead to over planning, which doesn't really help when you get overwhelmed with those kinds of things. Like when your page is too full of clutter and there's no breathing room and no white space, that tells your brain, hey, there's so much going on here. And that doesn't help you have like a clear, clutter-free mind when it comes to getting your stuff done. I'm more productive this way because I can focus on the tasks that need to be done and just like where I need to be, and just have the bare minimum of what is really important, the foundations of what makes my life happen, right? So maybe try a planning audit yourself. You don't have to film it as a flip through for YouTube like I did, but if you want to, that would be fun too. Let me know in the comments if you think you'll do something like this, and if you think it will help you to simplify your planning style. And if you're here with me, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I have new videos for you like multiple times a week. Right now it's 3 times a week. I'm looking into adding 1 more. Anyhow, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.